Don't call her. That's not her real name.
My name's Charlene. But
Her name is Charlene.
Why you keep calling her Keisha? You think that's cute doing that?
He was just assuming that's her name. Her name is Charlene.
We on.
Okay.
All right. Hey. Thank you all for joining Sisters with Opinions. Come over here, something. For those who don't know and just joining in, we are Sisters with Opinions, and we have a gift to help and heal somebody. I don't care if we heal one person tonight. We're going to heal somebody. I might heal myself tonight. I say that all the time. But God worked through people. And we're going to do this tonight.
Yes.
We have special guests in the building.
Yes.
Real bad. I met her a few years ago. I hear you.
I said yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. And listen, when I met her, I said, listen, I'm so happy to meet you now and be able to interview you now because you about to go up. I already knew it. I felt her spirit and her character. God was working through her, and we're going to take off. So we're going to introduce our special guest. And she bought, I'm going to call her Keisha because I'm just playing. When I met her, I knew it, and she did it. She was in a film at the time, and we were on set, and she went up from here. God was like, look, it's your time. Open that window and let me pour out these blessings and keep going. Mm-hmm. So she have a big announcement, an upcoming film. We all going. It's the premiere this Sunday, her new movie. And she's been in several movies. She an artist, right?
Yes.
She an author.
Yep.
And you can step in, see everything, a phenomenal woman.
Yep.
We want to introduce and the name you go by.
It's Jovahna Marie for you guys that don't know me. And my pen name is J.M. Pozon. So my book fans, they'll know me by J.M. Pozon.
That's the book fans.
Yeah. So we have a big, I'm making my directorial debut. My first film, I directed, wrote it, produced it, starred in it. And we will be having the premiere this Sunday at Taylor Gardens in Livonia, Michigan. So
let's go.
I am very excited. And we are completely sold out. We are at capacity.
Sold out. I was about to tell y'all can still come, but they sold out. Stand outside in the parking lot.
But, due to the overwhelming demand, we are thinking about doing a second screening. So if you guys didn't catch it this go around,
y'all better jump on.
We will be doing a second screening. Or you could just come out that night and meet us at Priva for the after party. After the premiere, we will be doing the after party at Priva Club down the street.
Priva Club.
Yeah.
So you all, let's go to Priva Club. Tell us a little bit about Priva Club.
Yeah, so we actually used the Priva to shoot one of the locations, so you'll see that in the film. So
okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really big. It's a very nice club, so it's beautiful. So come out and join us and party with us.
That's good.
It's a newly club that just opened in
Yes.
2024. They have paintings everywhere with young Black women, and it just as soon as you walk in there, it's like
I'm sorry,
feels so like home.
Yeah, the
like
ambiance.
They got
is really,
Beyonce up there.
Oh, that's my favorite.
the ambiance is very beautiful.
She is. You were too, and so are you, and that's impressive.
Look at us.
That's it. So tell us a little bit about. You started out writing books first, or?
Yeah, so I wrote my first book in 2015. It was called Setting Fire to the Darkness. It's a romance novel. It's a little 50 Shades of Grey. It's a little 50 Shades of Grayish, like meets Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, absolutely.
So that one, it was an Amazon bestseller.
Okay.
From there, I also do spoken word. So I have 3 spoken words books. I have Whiskey for the Wounded, which was featured in the New York Times.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have Stardust, which is my woman empowerment book. It was actually dubbed as one of the most prolific reads in women empowerment.
Wow.
And so we just got that one in Walmart. So that one is in Walmart.
Awesome. Yes, real.
And then I have passion fruit, that's my erotic poetry.
I love poetry.
Yeah,
Then
absolutely.
I'm working on right now that I'm getting ready to release is probably one of my most personal ones. It's called The Burning House We Made Home. It is a healing trauma recovery, talking about breaking generational curses.
Absolutely.
I was telling Q, one of my favorite quotes that I go by is that our bodies are not coffins for our pain to be buried in, and we got to put it somewhere else outside of the human body. So we put it in our work, we put it in our art, in our literature, in our,
Absolutely.
in acting, we put it in all these different things. I call it emotional alchemy, the transmutation of, pain and power. We're going to take everything that's meant to break us and use it as our breakthrough.
That's it.
And
That's where the name come from. Breakthrough.
Film Studios. Yep, that is the name of the
That's
studio.
awesome.
So it's all about transmuting, everything. Everybody goes through something in life. And so it's all
right
energy.
now. Absolutely.
And when you learn to take that energy and use it, it becomes a compelling force to push you forward, right?
Yeah.
And that's all we have to do with it, because you can get stuck. And a lot of times, especially in the Black community, when we talk about trauma, we grew up with don't air your dirty laundry. We sweep things underneath the rug.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you bury it, it grows seeds. And then so then everything that you bear, all the fruit and everything that comes forth after that, it is tainted with that. So I like to say that everything that we see in life, our perception of the world, is always going to be filtered through the lens of our experiences.
Through the lens.
The lens.
Yeah.
A lot of
But they
people
say
don't.
when you put on,
Absolutely.
you
Right.
see things
Yes,
differently.
you do. That's serious.
That's
And
so
people
true.
don't recognize their trauma bonds. They don't recognize childhood trauma.
Yes.
They sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
But see, that's also
Well,
why
actually, they normalize it.
yeah, but
So when I think a lot of people do that.
yeah.
And then it carries over.
But see, that's why I said the burning house we made home, right? So the beginning of the book says, when you're born in a burning house, being on fire may seem normal to you until you go outside and see other people walking around free of flames, because you were born in that toxicity, and the toxicity is so familiar
It's
that when you
That
are
part is so
living
familiar.
without the toxicity, it is actually
Absolutely.
threatening to you.
absolutely.
Yes. I don't know how to. Yes.
Yes.
And just to direct
Piggyback
my
on
experience with that is, I taught my children how to understand childhood trauma. And
the
how to
triggers.
have control over that trauma and not allow it to affect them mentally.
Absolutely.
But it is
you gotta keep
it's a
going.
process, because it's not something you go, it's a one and done, and you're like, okay, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
it is-
absolutely.
Absolutely. It is a constant healing for us. And then there may be things where you think that you're completely healed for it, and something triggers you in such a way where it brings everything right back. So it is an ongoing, continuous cycle of constantly working towards healing. You're never going to be done with it,
Never.
and then you also got to be mindful. Like, I have to tell myself sometimes, what way am I looking at this situation? Because, we could be in our ego and we may be triggered by something.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say that I can forgive everything except from malintent. So if you do something to offend me, and it may just be me being triggered because I'm looking at it through that perception and that lens, and it may not even been your intent to be offensive. Now, if you do something malicious and it's like hurting me, don't hurt you, then you can't be nowhere around me.
There you go.
But I could forgive me being offended, because there's going to be scenarios where I'm going to act off of my triggers and my past experiences. The quote that says, once bitten by a snake, paranoia make you smack a lizard in the face.
I have it.
Because you look a little bit too much like that snake. So
That's so true.
You can look like the snake.
True.
and so we gotta be mindful. Like, am I looking at this through my trauma lens?
Absolutely.
Is this what this is? Because what is real danger and what is a perceived threat? you know? So is this really dangerous, or if I'm just perceiving this as a threat because of the things that
That's
I've
why
gone
you got
through?
to ask God for the spirit
Yeah.
of what? Discernment.
Discernment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And he'll give it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You ignore if you want to. So we want to know. We want to talk about the film
Yes.
that's coming up. What made you come up with the title?
The dark side of beautiful. Because when you,
I want to know that so bad. Because what's the dark side of
All
beautiful?
podcasts we've been on, and not to, they was wonderful
Yeah.
podcasts. No one has asked her that question.
What's the? Yeah, I want to know. I want to take my glasses off. I gotta know.
well, you know what? I think it's just the opposites, the opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Okay.
When you look at something beautiful, we write it off as all these different things,
Okay.
right? But what's the dark side of it?
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? What's the-
absolutely.
because everything
'Cause
has
everything's-
its opposite. Everything.
Everything. Absolutely. That's so
but-
true.
When I wrote the film, it is a psychological thriller. I said I knew I wanted to make a psychological thriller, but I also wanted it to be different.
Okay.
And in it, so giving you a little, I'm gonna give you a little synopsis.
Just a little bit.
This is little tiny.
Yeah,
Just a little bit because they need to come. Right.
yeah. My character, I play Raina. I'm a Sunday school teacher
Okay.
that is a religious heretic,
Okay.
and I believe myself to be on this mission from God to rid the world of evil. So now the way I go about that, right. It is not the most, Christian-like.
Okay.
But at its core, I think it gave me the opportunity to dive into the themes of religion in a very unconventional way. But at its core, on a deeper level, I think it really speaks to how dangerous religion can be, misunderstood or misunderstood. We have seen people do horrendous, heinous crimes, and they do it in the name of God.
Right.
So it kind of speaks to that. I grew up actually in the church.
Okay, me
So my dad, he's from the Philippines, so I grew up Catholic. I did the Sunday school. I did catechism. When I was in the 8th grade, we had confirmation. Now, confirmation in the Catholic religion is basically saying, all this time, you've only been Catholic because this is what your parents are. So at this point, you're a young adult. You have to continue to choose whether or not you're going to continue the journey forward on your own. And so the process of that is they sent us to them. We had a weekend revival where we went to this monastery.
Okay.
And we got to spend the weekend there. We asked every question that we could think about our religion, about other religions, so we could make an informed decision on whether or not this is something that we wanted to continue on in. And, so of course my little inquisitive self.
That's a dark side.
Yeah, so I've had, I had some questions, especially, with the Catholic Church.
Absolutely. You curious.
So there were some things I needed answered. But, I remember talking to the priest and he was just like, well, religion is flawed. And it's not that religion is flawed. It's flawed because it's ran by men, which is flawed.
That
And
did
so
it, didn't it?
yeah. So that really changed my perspective. It really goes down to the way that people perceive, because people read the Bible and a million people take it a million different ways.
Oh my God. Yes.
And sometimes
So true.
it's more so, let me tailor it to fit what I want it to
Absolutely.
fit.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you can't really hear God if you already know what it is you want him to say.
What you say?
So
What you say?
at its deepest core, even though it is entertainment, even though it's all these different things at its core, I think I wanted to really poke and bring light to that aspect of, it is dangerous, and people's perception, even though their heart may be in the right place, intention and actions,
Yeah.
That was like to take in right there.
It is deep.
But it wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the character you play is that a part of
Yes.
your. That's you.
Yes.
That's you.
Well, no. You mean like in real life?
Right.
Right in
Yeah.
real life. No.
No.
Okay.
No. I feel like actually we are very different. You know, I'm not a serial killer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
She might break a lot of hearts.
That means she's a good actress. Then. Yeah.
but I feel like as actresses, when we get characters, we're always taught not to judge our characters.
Okay.
We're not supposed to judge. I don't care what, it could be the worst character in the world.
right.
We're not supposed to judge them. And in order to really embody that character, we have to find something in that character that we resonate with. Okay, if nothing else. So like I may not resonate with let me go kill this person.
Right.
But I can resonate
Something.
with the fact that I love God. I can
There you
resonate
go.
with the fact that I want to protect the innocent. I can resonate with the fact that I hate seeing bad people doing bad things and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Crazy
those
like
are
a passion.
so those are the things that I could dive into in this character and really embody because I could connect with that.
To be your best
Yeah.
self, to be that character. I mean,
Yeah.
to really bring out that character.
Yeah,
That
because
makes sense.
really all acting is realistic responses to imaginary situations, right? So, but going deeper, when you are really like breaking down, when I break down my script, when I break down my characters, even when I'm writing my characters, well, I started off like with my characters for the books. I would act out my dialogue to make sure that it sounded right. The characters in the book, I literally I would create their mannerisms, the way they hold their hands, the way they hold their cup when they drink, the way that they walk. What is their gait like? Do they have an accent? Where are they
Wow,
from?
that was one of my questions. But you already
That's
Yeah.
a
bringing it to
That's a good.
Yeah, because the thing is, you don't want to have flat characters, right? You got to make them realistic, and in order to make them realistic, they got to be multidimensional, which meaning that they have to have everything. You got to give them a background. You got to give them, oh, my dad did this, and this is what drives me.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, there you go. And
So-
then you want them to feel it.
Yeah, because that's what makes them real. So when they can embody all of those different things, that's how you make them real.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I know it's somebody probably watching, maybe an upcoming artist actress that want to get in that field. So, what would you like to offer some advice if they want to be an actress?
Have resilience. For one, you're going to hear more no's than you hear yeses, most definitely.
And
And
those
then-
are okay.
It's okay.
Yep. It's
Because
not
if
your
you don't
time.
hear it, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's time for me to practice more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just study, you don't think you're going to just, I'm guilty of it too. Where I was like, oh, I could do the acting, I could do that. And then you get there, you're like, oh my God, take the classes.
Take the
And
classes.
do the workshops, sit with acting coaches, because there's different techniques that, we use when we're acting. There's different things that we learn, And not only that, outside of the acting classes helping you perfect your craft and your skill, it is also an excellent source of networking, right? So if you're in, it begins to create a community of what you're trying to do. So you're now building bonds with other actors, and then that opens you up to other opportunities, hearing about auditions and casting calls, all just by being in that room, So I think from the standpoint of not only that it helps you build your skill, it also helps you network.
Okay.
And where you can go is we got some locals that's
Okay.
actually got
Yeah.
classes. We got Dennis Reed, who just promoted a class. He's doing
absolutely.
it there in Rome.
Yeah. And then, there's Actors Loft in Royal Oak. I started with the Actors Loft in Royal Oak. I then went on to Chic. I was with Chic for a little bit. Which was really cool. Not that the pandemic, was very unfortunate. But the upside of that for actors is that it opened up virtual. So we got to tap into some of those larger markets in those larger classes that we would have had to be in person to get into before. So the one that I did Megan Good's. I didn't really care for her class that much.
Okay.
But Tasha Smith, T-Saw,
Yes.
that was probably one of my favorite courses that I took. Like it is very intensive. I love T-Saw, but Tasha.
Real bad.
Yeah. So I love that course. But yeah, if you're a beginning actor, I would say audit some of these classes. They allow you to audit. They allow you to sit in before you actually pay for them, where you could just sit and do a session to see how it is.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I would definitely suggest just asking if you could audit a class before, putting your money down.
That's
Investing.
good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself.
Right.
All the time.
And then study. Some good books. The Power of the Actor.
Okay.
The power of the actor.
There's I would probably use that one in maybe 75% of the acting classes that I've taken. That book, and that is the Shabak technique. I think I'm saying that correctly, Shabak technique. But
Shabak sound about right.
yeah.
Let's get it in.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So yeah, they got that. Then they have the Meisner's method, method acting. So just study, study.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what made you want to go from being an actress and then, okay, it's time for me to write?
Well, I've always been a writer.
Okay.
Actually, I started writing when I was young. And believe it or not, I used to have a fear of speaking publicly. So I was very shy growing up. I was kind of timid.
Okay.
A little bit of a big bookworm. And it was really hard for me to express myself verbally. I just was always better at writing. Like I was very, very expressive in writing, and like to the point where I get mad at my parents and I write them a 7-page letter. Like,
Let me write it down. Like, absolutely.
like I was
You
just
said
better.
what?
Right, exactly.
This little short novel.
Yes, yes. Like but you know what's crazy? What ended up getting me over my fear of speaking is my mom started a medical trade school in Redford. And then, of course, she made me be the teacher.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah, so, I think teaching the class, I taught anybody that don't know, everything that I went to school for surgical technology. So a lot of the things that I did previous to all of this was in the medical field. So, and then by my mom having the medical trade school, I was like certified as a medical assistant, a patient care tech, phlebotomy, medical billing.
She did it all.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it was really just getting in there and teaching those courses that kind of got me out of my shell and helped me build my speaking. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is
You go,
awesome.
girl. That's what
You
I'm talking about.
hear?
She's so silly.
Seriously, because there's other people that's
You
in
go,
that
girl.
same realm.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have questions and topics. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
We was born.
Take a sip. No, I'm just playing. Okay. Okay, so we have hot topics because we try to help other people that's in relationships or whatever they're in. Do you believe a thought is cheating?
Oh,
A thought?
nope.
No.
No. Yeah, because you can't help your thoughts. That's how I feel.
You can help your thoughts.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
I got control of
I
mine.
feel like we have a million thoughts a day, right?
Yeah.
And we can either water them or we could dig them up. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So
true.
it is really not the initial thought, is what you do afterwards. Am I watering this thought because if I water it, I'm going to make it grow? So once you let it grow, it's going to get to a point where, hey, it's started to dig roots
This
now.
is something that what she's saying is,
Come on.
all right, we're going to, are you going to listen to your mind to let these hands flow and do it?
That's it.
Are you going to make it a line and like, okay,
Because I teach my kids, it's okay to think whatever you're gonna have thoughts, but you
gotta control 'em.
you have to be
control
the
'em.
watcher of your thoughts.
That's
You got to
it.
watch your
There you go.
thoughts.
There you go.
Because
And you know which ones to keep and you know which ones to throw away.
Right.
some people don't want to throw those thoughts away. They want to keep those thoughts and move with those actions.
And then that's where you get in trouble.
That's where you get in trouble.
Some
That's
people
it.
like to get in trouble. Well, that's a different topic.
They do, for
They
real.
do, yeah.
All right, so we want to know, do you think it's harder to be in a relationship in the field that you're in that industry, opposed to it is?
Absolutely.
It is. So people that's in this industry, actors, film directors.
You have to have somebody, a partner that is understanding and understands the industry for what it is, because it is hard. And then it's not only that, you have to make sure that you're dealing with somebody that is very secure in themselves, because with you being in the spotlight, a lot of times they get intimidated, you know, and it's just like, why are you worried about who want me when all I want is you, you know? But
That's
Clock
Did you
that
hear?
T.
There we
Because
go.
that's
so
what
true,
Taylor,
though.
what's her name? She's going through it right now.
She is,
And her dude was jealous of her.
Tiana.
Tiana
Yep,
Taylor.
Taylor.
and that's another thing.
Because of the spotlight. It's
You
like,
see
you
it.
in the
You see it.
spotlight too.
Absolutely.
What's wrong?
But it's another thing that we can't have mates that is jealous of
Of
you.
course.
They're jealous of your light. They're jealous
They
how
are,
other
for
people
real.
adore you.
That's
and so
so
the
sick.
whole
Yeah.
time you thinking like, oh, I love this man love me, and he can't. He hates your guts.
Absolutely.
No, real talk.
Yeah, that's so. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's just like
That's
I mean,
serious.
because you're in a position that they want to be in, and they see that you're doing it. And a lot of times, what happens is that's when men treat you the worst, when they feel like, hey, she's on this level,
Absolutely.
and
Or
I have to break her down.
ambitious. You know, I'm so driven, and
They have
I
to
have,
break
you know what I
you
mean.
down.
That interferes too.
But it's like they want to break you down so you don't realize that you deserve more than them.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
That's
it's like
deep.
I got
They're trying to
because
take
I
you away
know
from you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I
Yes.
know where you
Yes.
are, I gotta make you feel like you ain't shit.
There you go.
Before
That's
you
so
figure
true.
it out and you leave. Before you figure it out and you leave.
That was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it.
the whole point of an enemy is to distract you from you.
Yeah. Like I had a situation. I remember
it.
I had one guy. I remember having a conversation with him. Like he told me, "Oh, you'll never write a book." I wrote 6.
What? Did you hear the voice change? She was like, she was so true. She was
She
like,
went to
she was
Beyonce
like,
on that
did
part
she?
right
She was
there.
like,
I said,
I wrote
listen,
6.
I've written
again.
6.
How
I've
many you
written
say?
6.
Beyonce said
You
that.
heard it. She did.
Yeah. So it
You
was
ain't think
just
my
like.
album was gonna sell,
Didn't,
but
right.
I sold 5.
But you know what? It was
I
so
love
crazy.
it.
I literally sat and I remember the exact conversation I had, and I was just like,
6.
I
love
I
that.
wanted to take you with me. You know, I know
But he
where I'm
wasn't ready.
going, and I said, I know that I wanted to take you with you, but what I have realized is that your floor, that my floor is your ceiling, and you can't go no higher.
That's it.
And I'm gonna have to leave you where you at.
That's the enemy. So we gotta ask God
Absolutely.
in detail to give us the man that understands us and pushes us to move. Versus,
I'm done.
what is-
He was like, I'm okay. She's like, I got this. She said, I got this piece over here. That's
It is
It's
peaceful.
over
It
here.
is
It
very
is.
peaceful.
well, by yourself,
It is very peaceful.
Don't
It's,
Now
interrupt
you get
that
to know you, and
piece.
can nobody come
But-
in and take you from you.
it's stability. Like I feel like once you go to certain situations, because I did have a really, really rough breakup, and it
Okay.
took me to a place. And I'm actually just kind of getting to a place where I'm bringing myself out of that.
Out of it.
And-
Absolutely.
Oh no, you've been working on that for the past year.
Yeah.
Getting yourself on that.
Yeah. She
And-
getting to know herself.
Yeah, and it's just
No, she
sometimes
gaining
you gotta
herself
take
back.
Absolutely.
you gotta take that time, because here's the thing. You have to distance yourself, and not that doesn't mean like, oh, I get done with this relationship and I could just go jump in and use the bad date, and I'm
Absolutely.
using these different vices so I don't have to
Hurt people,
sit
hurt people.
with
Yes.
myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, stop being a little hot in the ass and just sit with
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yeah, for
No,
real.
you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta
You
deal with
sit-
it,
Yeah.
and don't put it on nobody else, because it's not fair. Because you know that I know it wouldn't be fair to let nobody in this space, because I couldn't give you myself at 100%.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm bringing baggage, so I need to deal with my issues. I have to take the
Absolutely.
time to
So,
heal myself.
so with the baggage, what are you unpacking?
That's true. And when you with that person, God don't bless no mess.
Yeah.
I just want people to know
That's
that.
right.
They
Yeah.
don't. For
But
real.
you'll never have peace if you're with someone that you're not supposed to be with. You could do everything in your power. You could love them. You could
You could
pour
do
everything you have
Yeah.
into
That's
them,
not-
and you will never have peace with that
Absolutely.
person. And it
God-
don't matter what you do.
Let it
Because
be.
the other person's always on your mind. That's love, right? No, for real. When you really love somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You really don't care what they do or what they're doing right now, because you want them, of course, back. However, it's like that other person can't feel that love, fulfill your love for the other person, right? So it's like, I love this person, but I'm dealing with you, but I really want to be with this person. You know?
But see, that's why I said you have to take time to yourself, because what I
to get
said
to know
is
your
not
own
fair.
self.
And like, even with the situation, because I don't know that I ever not loved that person. But what I do know is that I had to get to a space where I loved me more.
That'll do it.
And
Shut the whole. We gonna continue on just, but that's serious. That's true.
Yeah,
you have to learn. You have to learn what you want in life. Learn yourself. Date yourself. Some people don't believe that. They don't believe they can be by themselves. You have to date yourself so you can learn what you want.
I've been doing solo dates.
That's how I
solo
do.
this,
Yeah,
solo
absolutely.
everything.
You have to be by yourself though, because who can you talk to when you come home?
God.
But
No, you can.
yes.
But who can?
You don't need
Of course,
nobody.
God can relay the message, but sometimes you be like, I had a hard day with baby. Guess what happened? You know,
And most of the time, they not even listening.
Right.
They like, what? I don't want to hear about Sarah no more today. They ain't listening. The only person gonna
you
listen.
know what? I'm tired of hearing this.
Absolutely,
But I
yep.
get it, though. That's why I'm
you
call me.
You gotta pour into yourself. You gotta
You
get into a
do.
space where you loving on you, so
Absolutely.
that the way that you wish that others would love you, you gotta love yourself
I
that
tell
way.
her that.
So how
all
do
the-
you know
And-
you love yourself? How would you recognize you love yourself after that?
Because the things that you will no longer accept. When you love yourself, you're not going to let anybody come into your life and love you less than what you love you. Because you love yourself enough to say, hey, if you come in and you ain't doing this and this and you ain't treating me like this, no, I love myself too much to it.
Absolutely.
If I love me, you going to have to love me too. And that's why self-love is a prerequisite.
It
We
is.
have a lot of women.
Say the word again.
Prerequisite.
Prerequisite. Break it down for the people in the back with the definition of prerequisite.
That's
No,
it.
it is a prerequisite.
Don't I tell you that all the time?
Meaning, before you can enter into any relationship, you have to love yourself wholeheartedly.
Baby, let me tell
Yeah,
you something.
because if you don't, we get the Rashidas, we get the Krishan Rock. You know, we get those because it's a lack of love within themselves. And I'm saying this from experience because it took me a minute to actually start
what you
loving
say?
on me.
The bull.
Like, you know,
I tell you?
I used to sit there and I'm wondering, like, why am I not good enough for this
Because
person?
she living my life.
Like, I'm doing this. It's like,
swear.
I don't understand. Why am I not
Man.
enough?
Yep.
Wow,
You know, it's
not
me.
enough.
I used to go relationship. Then I was like, that's it. I got a journal. God used to wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, you know I got to go to work in a minute. But it's my time to talk to God. I'm going to talk to God. I'm going to journal. There it is. I have to learn how to love myself. Because they weren't loving me like I supposed to be loved. God designed me.
That's because you was in a relationship since you was young, right? So you really didn't have any time for yourself.
Nope.
But when you find
You
it,
see
you
how we
like,
helping healing?
oh,
Hold on.
yeah.
Y'all about to make me do a spoken word.
Come on.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
do it. I love it.
Darling, how did you ever think that a man like him would love a woman like you?
Yep.
Heart pure as gold, so pure and true. Born with magic in your veins and stardust in your bones. See, you must understand that you are a queen,
Absolutely.
meant for only a king.
Absolutely.
And if you go where you are not meant to be, your worth will forever remain unseen.
Absolutely.
You'll be like a diamond or the rarest of gems in a land full of blind men. And truth be told, they could have you in the palms of their hands and still not understand that which it is that they hold. Yes.
Yes.
It was like this.
Yes.
Never see. It was Lil Jones.
Oh
You heard
my
her?
goodness.
She said, "Can you write that down?"
Oh, I got it. It was no.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I so felt that.
Because
Got you.
the thing is, we are diamonds. We are. And then when we don't recognize
Yes.
it, the things that we go through
The
in situation will make us question our own
Absolutely.
value. And it's
yeah.
not your value. It's just that you are at the wrong place. Then they can't see it, but their inability to recognize your worth doesn't make you worth less.
But they don't deserve you then.
You know?
And then you so busy trying to make them happy instead of making yourself happy.
What was
But
the
go ahead.
So in that process of going through your because to me you never stop healing, right? That's a journey.
absolutely.
Till you hit the dirt. That's my brain.
That's true though.
But so anywho, getting to understand it and embracing, instead of saying this is trauma for me, but what did I do wrong? Where, it's the whys. But when I say that, it's focusing on me. Like how did I attract that person?
Okay.
Where, you know what I mean? So what was the things that was wrong with me already that I pulled in
to attract this person? I have a friend right now. I'm sorry, baby. I apologize. I have a friend right now who attracted the same person in three different bodies.
Yep, that's so true.
The same person in 3 different bodies. I said, what is it that you're doing to attract these guys?
The same guy.
But
she broke it down to what she likes. She likes those type of guys, but she don't like it. So I'm like, make it make sense. If this is what you attract and you don't like it, change you. You got to change.
Sometimes, though, we attract people to speak to our trauma. And what I mean by that is, like, so in my book, I talk about core wounds. The core wounds it could be anything that happened from childhood on that has created a dialogue. We all have a self-identity. It is a way that on our subconscious level that we identify ourselves. It is an internal dialogue within us that says something. It could be anything. I feel like for me, that internal dialogue was, I'm not good enough. All right. And so it pushed me to always be better. I gotta be more. I gotta do this. And so when I really sat down and I'm like, okay, where did this come from? Well, why did I feel this way about myself? And I thought back to it, and all of this in my book. I'm about to get heavy with y'all for a minute.
That's okay. Come on.
I want you to.
God showing up.
I feel like, one, the earliest memory that I had where I felt like I wasn't enough, I had to go there. And that was my first one. I feel like I have great parents. I have amazing parents, but I also feel like even the most well-intentioned parents can cause trauma without knowing it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because nobody's perfect.
No.
Yeah, so I think the very first moment, I think I was like, I drew a drawing, right? And I was like maybe 6, and I was like, Dad, look at this drawing, look. But, of course, he was on the phone, he was busy. He's like, yeah, that's good.
Right.
But it was very, it's just like a dismissive. And then I remember the second feeling I had of feeling like that is, I had got straight A's, but I had 1 B. I'm like, Dad, I got straight honor roll. He's like, well, you got to get that C up.
Right, exactly. Like, what's going on?
And so what it taught me subconsciously on an unspoken level, what it said to me is, good is not good enough. You have to be extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be just good. Good is not good. Good doesn't make the cut.
Because it's a higher level than
it
good.
is.
Yeah. So I think from there, it was just kind of, but what made me think back to those 2 instances is when I made the New York Times.
There you go.
And I told my dad again, it was that same thing. I was like, Dad, but it made me feel like that little girl. And then I felt like after all this time, that was still there. But I'm going to go deeper.
Come on.
When I was younger, I was sexually assaulted. I was raped. And that made me feel like I feel like anybody that's ever been through that, it's a feeling where you feel tainted. It makes you feel dirty. Like, I remember I was in the shower and I was scrubbing myself and I'm like scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. It's because I felt dirty. Like I felt it was shame.
Right.
But what I realized that dirty feeling was coming from inside. It was not something that I could
scrape off.
Absolutely.
And I think so that it was crazy. And even though it sounds absurd, it was like when I would walk, I would be like, people could see that on me. Wow. Even though it's not any logical explanation, I just always felt like they can see that I've been tainted. And I felt too when it affected the way that I interacted with men.
I was going there next.
It affected the way that I saw myself as being worthy because I felt like hey, I may be tainted. Maybe I was worth a little bit less because this thing had happened to me. So I believe that we accept the love that we think we deserve. So if we're accepting it, we have to realize what about us is making us feel like we deserve this kind of love.
Absolutely.
But I ain't gonna allow the childhood trauma to affect my future. Period.
That's
For
true.
real, because
That's
that's what you was
Yeah.
saying. Like the man it follows you, right?
It does.
So it's like I'm not going to allow what happened to me to put on my character, me as a person. You know, so I'm like I ain't about to
But
allow that
we
to
have
affect me,
to.
but I've been through it too.
You got to reparent yourself.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. Sometimes you got to reach down and grab the hand of that little girl inside of you and start reparenting her. Start loving on her. You got to love her so that she does, and protect her,
Absolutely.
because that's the thing right there. That's a big one.
It is.
Safety, feeling safe.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I went through what I went through, I kind of cut everybody off. I did. I just went into complete isolation for a multitude of reasons, but the main one is that I needed stability and I needed to feel absolutely safe. And the only thing that felt safe to me was alone.
Okay.
And writing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you ever fought yourself guilt, what made him attack me?
Yeah.
And make him do this to
Because
me?
we often do blame ourselves. We're like, well, maybe I just, I did it. What did I deserve it? Like even in relationships, we ask ourselves, maybe what did I do? Like maybe I wasn't, I wasn't giving enough. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't pretty enough. We attack ourselves. We'll get to a point where someone could break us down so badly that we start to believe the things that they put into our mind about ourselves.
That's the enemy.
And instead of being mad at them, we're mad at us.
Absolutely.
Like, you messed up. You did this. Why can't you be better? And we take it out on us.
So guilt.
So when you get into a relationship, do you share that with that person that
It depends.
it depends?
You can't share with everybody because they'll use it against
They
you.
will.
And
Wow.
and that's why I talk about
That's
safety.
something, ain't it? That's
Safety.
something.
Because when we get into a relationship, what it should look like, is that I'm your safe space in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What it should look
absolutely.
like is that when you tell me about your past traumas and the things that you've gone through, it is a tool to help me know how to love you better. But most people don't use it that way. They use it as ammo. This is ammo. When I get pissed off at you, I'm gonna throw it back in your face.
I got one better
That's
for
why
you.
your daddy,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
like when my fiance came to me with his childhood trauma, I looked and I dug really deep, and I said, I'm gonna find a cure for this. Because I don't want to deal with this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just certain things that you have to try to cure in that moment when somebody telling you about their childhood trauma. I'm like, oh, that's easy to cure. All you gotta do is keep doing this, right? So it's easy to understand that person that way. Now, he's cured.
But and I go far, because what about you in a new relationship? No, it can just be a relationship, and they do that same touch that person that touched you. That's a trigger, right?
Yeah.
So how do you
so
that's a problem for you.
It's a trigger for me.
Wow.
But you gotta learn your person. But what I was gonna say is too that sometimes I feel like even with loving black men, this is sometimes if they don't love themselves, if a black man does not love himself, he gonna drag you. And the thing about it is too. Again, we accept the love we think we deserve. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
So with a man, if you come on, you're all loving and you're just giving it to it, and they feel like it'll feel fake to them. Like they'll feel like it's very disingenuous because it's like, why do you love me? I don't even love me. Why?
It's 50 million questions.
You know what I'm saying? It's what about me? I don't believe it.
Yep.
And so, like, a
They
lot of
don't
the
know it.
problems that I've
Love
had,
the right way.
healthy love.
The
And we
healthy
talked about
love.
the toxic
That's the
feels,
healthy
and they'll
love.
go back to Keisha that was dogging them
There you
because
go.
it feels safe.
There you go. Keisha.
Yeah.
That's your name.
No, because it feels safe. Like
Absolutely.
I've had certain scenarios where I was dealing with men and they felt like, oh, she's too good to be true, and they dogged me, and I'm like, the when I'm the best to men, when I give them the best, that's when they do me the dirtiest, and I can never understand it.
But then you got some men out there who do women the dirtiest, and they give them the best.
Yeah,
That's true.
So I come to realize that when men, when they have that right person, right, they don't know they have it.
They can't recognize it.
Yeah.
They don't recognize it. But I had to come to the conclusion that the mother, right, is that person that obviously didn't love on that individual, correct?
so mother wounds is very real.
Real bad. So when they and they experience that, but then you have a woman come in their life and love on them what you think is the correct way, right? But all they know is this mother love, this toxic love,
And so that feels
So
real.
that-
They recognize that and it registers as being real.
as real, normal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
what you showing is this got to be an overplay for the underplay.
There you go.
know, and so
There you
they're
go.
suspicious
Hello?
of you.
That's it.
Ooh, that's my favorite word.
That's it.
Yeah, the overplay for the under. What?
So they're
Yes.
suspicious. So
Yeah.
when,
Everything is suspicious to them.
and it's like it don't matter what I do, I'm always caught into question. But that
Always
goes through
called
the
into
lens
question.
of perception, how we perceive things to be. They're viewing you, so they're looking for it. Everything to fit the narrative that they have already
That's
made
so
of you
true.
inside their mind.
So what I've learned is I was in a 17-year relationship. God rest my children's father's birthday is actually today. He passed away of COVID. in
Sorry to hear
2017.
that. Wow.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, not 2017. I'm sorry, 2020.
20.
Right.
Okay.
So, make a long story short, when I was with him, I knew my value. I knew
Okay.
my worth.
Right.
But he's starting to push in his self guilt on me, what he was doing, what he wasn't doing. I'm
Right.
at school, I'm doing
Right.
everything, right?
Yes.
And he was trying to call the police on me just because it was just horrible. However, when you know your worth, you will remove yourself from the situation
You have
regardless
to.
of what's going on.
Yep.
So in the 2 years, I reflected on myself and I said, I'm going to attract somebody that loves me for who I am.
Okay.
And I've been with my fiance now for 8 years.
awesome.
And it's like, he understands
difference.
my
It's a difference.
relationship with Joe. He understands, my
Absolutely.
careers.
Yes.
And so it's like, oh, thank you, baby. You can make my life
Absolutely.
easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
when I changed that about myself, I attracted more. But now I want more too. You know?
Oh yeah.
So when you on the next level, you're gonna still want more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when does it stop? When does the more stop? How do you know you found this person? When does it stop? Because we want more.
You see, that's the thing. And when I talk about the meaning of love, right? We live in a society where it is very self-serving. We live where love has now become a transactional thing, where it's I love you if you fit a certain status, if we have a certain amount of money, if you have a certain title, if you fit a certain aesthetic. People want what looks good.
Yeah.
And the thing about love, it is not about what I can get
There you
from
go.
another person.
There
It's
you
about
go.
what I can give.
That's
When
it.
you know how I know that I'm in love is when I want to give everything I have to that person.
Agape
And
love.
I can't breathe.
Agape love.
without
Agape
Yeah.
love, right?
So when we
Absolutely.
talk about
Yes.
when you sitting there thinking
Yep.
about how because the real thing is an unconditional love, because everybody wants unconditional love, but most
Agape.
people don't understand what unconditional love
Yeah,
means.
absolutely.
Like they want unconditional love by holding bags full of conditions. You know what I'm saying? You know,
That's deep.
it not only that they want unconditional love, or they say, "Oh, I love you unconditionally," but you know what?
So something happens.
I don't like the way that nigga chew.
Absolutely. Chewing got on my nerves. Absolutely. That's so true. Exactly.
Right. His tongue is too
Absolutely.
thick. Right. Exactly. You know?
The way he walks.
He ties shoes
Yeah.
too
But-
tight. Yeah.
Because when you in love,
Bye.
when you in love, when you are in love,
You love
Yeah.
everything.
None of
it's
that
the
matters.
crusty feet. You be like,
It
oh,
do.
he's just so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
He's the son of this guy. He's
That's
so
so
best.
true.
And it's just,
Right.
it's
Right.
nothing we could do
Absolutely.
wrong,
Yep.
right?
Right.
Because it's unconditional. You're
Yeah.
looking past. It's a soul level love.
Yeah.
It is on a soul
agree.
level.
That
It's
agape
beyond.
love. And
Yes.
you know what's crazy? I related myself to the way how God loved all the time because I'm like, we always talk about in church. When you go to the pearly gates, you want God to,
Absolutely.
judge you, in the right way, of course. I'm like, you have to love that person unconditionally
You do.
that you're with, right? And you want that reciprocation. When they don't reciprocate it, do you still love them the same?
But see, if it's true love, you're gonna love. You can't help it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my thing is, you can learn to love people from a distance. You know, and
Yeah.
That's that unconditional love you was talking about.
because it means I'm not gonna stop loving you, and that's why I don't understand. Like the way that I love it, and this is what makes me so afraid to love again, because of the way that I love.
She sound like me.
Because it's people that say they love someone, was married to them 10 years, and the next thing you know, I wish he died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to pull up in that. I don't want to pull up in that driveway.
Right.
They do that.
But my whole thing is, if I have ever loved someone, I will always love them. The way I love them may change. It may go from me being in love with them to having love for them. But I always want to see them doing good. Like I'm gonna pray for them. You know, that is love. I don't want to see anything bad happen to you.
That's the same love.
And even if you did me wrong, I'm praying that you heal for whatever it is that caused you to treat me the way that you're treating me.
It's the same love how you love your children, right?
Yeah, I feel like the closest we get to unconditional love would be the way that we love our children.
Exactly.
Because Jeffrey Dahmer daddy was right in that room with his ass. He was.
That's my boy.
He's like, I know you. He's like, I can't die. He's like, I know you eat people, but
Absolutely.
But that's what I raised. That's crazy. That's what I raised.
Oh, man. I'm loving that.
So I want to know.
Yeah.
Movie.
I want to know, do you have a celebrity crush that you want to work with, that you just have a dream? I got to work with this person. No?
I want to work with Michael B. Jordan, but not regular Michael B. Jordan.
You do.
He gotta be
Ghost?
No.
Oh, no, that's not Michael B. Jordan. I'm sorry.
Who he played? Killmonger. He got to be the Killmonger Michael B. Jordan.
Well, he can't be anything.
He can't just be.
He can't be the regular Michael. He got to be Killmonger.
Michael B. Jordan, you hear that?
Period. And he's listening too.
You better hear it. You better hear it.
Sure
Absolutely.
Where we
That's
at?
awesome. Good stuff. Where we on? 5 minutes? 3 minutes?
5 minutes.
Listen, we excited you all.
Yes.
This film is going to be amazing from what I saw and what I'm learning tonight. So hopefully you all got tickets. If you don't have tickets, if you don't have them, they
It's out of luck.
That's it. But it's going to be streaming after that, right?
Yeah. And then we're going to do the second screening. Yeah, so you got
so you might have a second chance. We do. Hopefully we helped to heal somebody tonight. People go through all kind of stuff in these relationships, whatever y'all in, whatever you call it.
Or your own personal self.
Absolutely.
Growth.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
They helped me a little bit tonight.
All that's
I got
a little healing tonight.
You felt it. You felt it.
Yeah, it was healing all
Absolutely.
over
It was
it.
everything.
Absolutely. This is amazing. So we can't wait Sunday.
Yes.
And give us your handles. Give us the handles.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Dina, you got one? Because you know I always got questions. She ready. Come on.
2 minutes.
I got one because you got
Go
one.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Name something you really wish men wouldn't do that we think they like us to do.
Suck toes, say no.
You wish they wouldn't suck toes? Because sometimes I think women think things that
I
we
don't feel
do.
like that. That is not like I walk. It's like I feel like that's the dirtiest part of the body. That
Is
is
your
not
toes.
sexy to me.
Okay, that's good stuff.
You said what?
You know, something you think that a man just love that we do and they don't like
You
it.
said that
we do that they don't.
Yeah, like, you know, like,
no, I want that.
Yeah.
You talking about?
Well, I know a woman that do nails. She said the feet is the best part of the body for them to touch, because your feet is usually closed in. Our hands, we touch everything.
Like when we sweat and our pores and all of the toxins
It come
out.
through your feet.
Yes.
So what's yours?
What's yours?
She said the feet. What's yours? Because sometimes, like,
I
women
never
think,
thought
like,
that.
I'm going to get my body done because men like that. But they really don't.
some
Do
of
they
them
really
don't.
like that?
Yeah, do they like
Oh,
that?
men don't like that at all.
Okay.
And they don't like
I
makeup
lost
either.
30 pounds,
don't.
but a man like you for who you are. So
It's so crazy. I'd be like, I could be just like this, and then I'll get maybe 2 hits on. I go out looking like
They be
Shabaki.
like, come in.
and they on my head.
That's what I'm saying. You go out into the world, but they be on your head.
That's how it was.
Like,
One day I was like, let me run to Kroger real day.
I'm like, okay.
And it was like 3 guys. I'm in produce. I'm like, come on, stop
Or
that.
maybe they just feel maybe they just feel less threatened.
Yeah, that's true.
No. They
That's
like
true.
you in your natural state because they want to see how you look.
When they wake up,
I call it done up.
Absolutely. Dialed up.
Yeah, you wake up. Hey,
They be like, take them filters off. Yeah, they just like
they want to meet you in your,
Natural
your
state.
first.
Yeah.
That's
Then
true.
next time you see me, look at me elevated with my high definition.
Okay. All right.
What you thought I was?
Okay, I got a question.
Leo.
I did think that.
no.
No, don't do that.
How many
I'm a
minutes,
Julio. What's a vagina's best friend?
Cleansing.
I hear that.
A garden.
Okay, that's good stuff for sure.
What's yours?
I said a garden
Oh.
of roses.
Rose.
You got one?
Vagina's best friend.
Yeah. Jenny, you heard me.
I
You
did
see how
hear
she
you.
do this
She
all the
said,
time?
I do. I said,
You know the vagina's
What's
best
your
friend.
vagina's best friend, girl? We answered the question. You got 2 seconds.
Mine's is the way you talk to it.
I hear that.
I almost choked.
What's yours?
Because I'm like, he.
She said he.
Okay, Jenny, it's Sister Robinson about to go.
Yeah. I like the cleanliness part because it's like, yeah,
You like to clean
for
it?
sure.
What's something you shouldn't say during sex?
Somebody else's name.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird
Somebody
stuff.
else's name
is
because
a-
get off me.
Mm.
Because everything that person was on your mind with that thought you was talking about.
What you
that
said.
Now that right there is where a
That-
thought could
that-
be an issue.
That
okay?
was a trigger for you.
Yeah. I mean, nobody never said
I
that
know.
name.
I get it though. But it's
heard
like,
stories.
yeah, exactly.
Ooh, yeah, that's
You got one?
yeah.
But you got one, Joe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll show you
A
one.
trigger during sex? What? You don't got nothing.
That they shouldn't say.
Fart or
Okay.
anything, nothing.
Nothing. Right. You know how you be laying there like I know he lying.
Right.
The sweat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sweat. Yeah,
Sweat,
is the
yeah.
one.
I remember.
Stop. I ain't
The one time, the bigger guy, sweat
Yeah,
was
it's
dripping,
all on you and you
dripping
like-
my eye.
Yeah, that
I'm not about to
like I know you lying.
Not the
That is
eye.
a turn off though.
That is.
It's like I can't see. I'm trying to have fun.
Exactly.
I know.
You got one.
That's why you got to be on top.
You had one question. We only
I
have
look,
one.
no, I'm good. You right?
I got a question.
I have a lot.
Go ahead. Come on,
I
you
got
gotta
a
ask
question.
us. Come on.
So, are any of you guys in a relationship?
I'm not.
No, I'm not.
So y'all single?
We are.
So y'all might as well. We all might as well link up and go on.
Let's go. I
date.
thought you was in.
I am.
Okay, well we can still go.
I still act single though.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
I, Joe?
It depends on the month, huh? Okay, well we can. Let's go. A girl's trip. A girl's trip. I asked the guy last week. Should
Lord have mercy.
should you tell what happened on a girl's trip?
Lord have mercy.
Should y'all tell?
That's what we're trying to do. Go on a girls trip.
Should you tell what happened on a girl's trip?
No.
What
Yeah.
happens on a girl's trip?
It's a
They
girl's
is on a
trip.
girls' trip.
Absolutely.
They're not gonna tell us what they do. So why should we
course
tell
they
them what they
wouldn't.
do?
That's
I
it.
don't know. I can tell my man everything.
Okay. That's just
Sometimes we can tell our man too much.
I do. Well, I don't
That's
have no man
okay.
right now.
Okay.
but when I did,
when you
I
did,
tell
you would tell them
everything.
everything. Okay.
Sometimes we can tell them too much. You can't tell them everything. You gotta leave some things to yourself.
I don't. That's my problem too.
I think
I'm brutally honest.
You do that?
Tell your man everything.
I'm pretty
I think she
open.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Mine's
pretty
going
open.
It's not an
Man's
issue,
going
but
to the grave.
I mean, but I'm
Mine's
not
going
really.
to the
I'm not
grave.
really doing nothing so crazy.
That's
where-
you
Yeah,
because
yeah.
women, we're open. We would tell them everything, but I'm telling y'all,
Yeah.
my dad raised me. I'm his only child.
Mm-hmm.
He told me everything, and that's why I don't tell my man everything.
I just feel like things.
I mean,
I feel like things you share with me.
Let me say
what
this.
you share
It's
with me,
not,
I'm not
not
telling
my
him.
best friend. Certain things I'm not
no,
going to
yeah,
share.
no,
yeah,
yeah,
don't
So
tell
I'm,
that.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm talking about on that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to pillow talk my best friend.
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
speak.
That's
Exactly.
different.
So
That's different.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
totally. I'm not.
That's
You know what I'm
We going
saying?
out,
I'm talking
and we
about
get
like,
drunk and
Oh,
you
but
know,
yeah.
About
you're not
you,
hearing
yeah.
anything from somebody
Right,
else.
exactly.
That,
Yeah,
That's
right,
that,
right,
that's
right.
good
Ever.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So listen, you all, we gotta close it out. We ran out of time. Maybe we have to do a part 2. But on
This is
Sunday,
beautiful.
we're gonna have a good time. I hope
Yes.
y'all have tickets and make sure you stream The Dark Side of Beautiful.
Yes.
Dark side of it. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you all next week.
Thursday.